Welcome to Crew Life at Sea podcast. Here, we will share the skills you need to make your experience and adventure out at sea a success. Hear inspiring stories from experienced crew from all diversities. Gain knowledge and know your rights. Be part of the Crew Life at Sea. And let's welcome your host, Raymond Crystal.
Welcome to Crew Life at Sea. I'm your host, Raymond Crystal, and we're back. This time we're back with a guy who's been at sea for around 4 years. He is all the way from the Philippines, and his name is Lorenzo.
Hello, Raymond. My name is Lorenzo.
What's your surname?
Uy.
Uy, Lorenzo
Uy.
Uy. Now, what is the Uy? How do you say Uy? What's Uy? How do you spell Uy?
Uy.
Okay.
Like a Chinese name.
Excellent. How you got a Chinese name?
Yes, my father is half Chinese. On my father's side, my grandfather is pure Chinese.
Yeah, so which part of the Philippines?
I'm in near Manila, maybe 2 hours travel, and I'm in the province of Nueva Ecija, very beautiful province.
Oh, one day I need to come there and have a look. I still haven't been to the Philippines. So let me ask you something. You've been at sea for 4 years. How did you start your life at sea? And could you tell me a little bit of your journey that got you here?
I was graduated of BSHRM, so I pursued to stay in that path in hospitality industry. First, I get an experience to a famous restaurant. Then I go to a 5-star hotel. And that is the time that I decided to work on a cruise ship.
What was the name of the 5-star hotel?
The 5-star hotel is a Mandarin Hotel in Manila.
Okay. What does an assistant waiter mean and actually do on board? Because, you get waiters and you get assistant waiters. So what is the assistant waiter?
Assistant waiter is a very important part in running the restaurant, of course. It's a very complicated job. They're the ones who literally assist the waiters.
So you do all the dirty work while they do the easy work.
Yes. We greet the passenger, of course. We sit the passenger to their respective tables, ask them what they like to drink. Sometimes sell them the special beverages like special wine, some packages like a package of water for their whole cruise. The important thing is picking up the food.
So you are the one who, if they want salad dressings or something, you got to go get it. If they want something in their drink, you got to do it. And the waiter, all he does is just place the orders and collect the main food.
Yes, and also you need to pay attention to what the waiter gives you the order to pick up. And
if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the waiter who's supposed to collect the main meal?
No.
So what the waiter does, he just writes an order and says hi and smiles.
It's the mainstay in the restaurant. They are the one who's taking care of the passenger.
So the guest satisfaction, smile and see where everything is needed. So, and they're the ones who get paid more and they work less, and you guys work so hard and you get paid less.
It's fair, right?
Yeah. Oh wow, that's interesting. What made you decide this was what you wanted in your life?
Well, I'm not saying I really wanted this job in my life because I'm far away from my family. That's the important thing.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't want to spend my whole life working far away from them. What you call this? Inspiration.
Well, I wish you luck with your temporary inspiration. I hope you become promoted to a waiter very soon, because I'm sure it'll be a lot easier for you in that promotion.
Not really.
Can you tell me the process if somebody wanted to work on board as an assistant waiter? How would they proceed to this?
It depends sometimes on your country. The agency wants to have at least 2 years experience on hotel or in a fine dining restaurant. Also, you need to complete all the papers needed to go work outside the country. You need to do some training, of course, like basic training in the ship, first aid, and many more, and especially your certificate in your previous companies.
So if you were doing this job on land compared to at sea, how difficult is it on board compared to land?
It's difficult. It's for me, I don't want to say it's good working on board. Of course, there's a lot of things to consider, like less sleep, pressure during duty time, carrying heavy trays and plates. You need to have a system on your work, know what you're doing, and going to the galing and you know what to pick up. And also even out of duty, you have a less leisure.
So I see you move around a lot in the venues during a contract, because when I came on board, I met you, you were in the officer mess, and then Couple weeks later, I see you're in another dining room, in another place, you're somewhere else. How does this work? What are they doing here?
We have a rotation here. Like, for example, you'll stay in 2 months in restaurant, and then after, you'll stay in 2 months again in the crew mess. All assistant waiters have the same level, the same salary. So even if you work in the office, which is a very easy job, and you still get paid with the same as the assistant waiter in the restaurant.
I'm sure you've had some unhappy guests, or crew maybe, but mainly guests, with their food or something, you know. How do you deal with it?
Well, for the guest, I do is, of course, I did some mistake. I say my apologies. I try to give them my best. They need to try not to make more mistakes, of course.
Does your manager give you a hard time?
Of course, I've experienced that every time I have my contract here on the ship. They give me some hard things, you know. There's a rotation for like a simple duty, but if they give you hard work, of course, every day you have a hard duty. Like carrying a lot of trays, big stations.
Do you have any of these safety belts that you have to wear because of the heavy things? So you have to wear it, huh?
That's a company policy.
Yeah.
If you get, for example, you get your back broken and they found that in the investigation that you're not wearing a back support, sure, they will not pay you.
In order to get a promotion, obviously, because this is the main goal as an assistant waiter, what or how would you go about to get a promotion in this type of a field?
Well, it depends on how you pursue your job. If you want to be like easy-go-lucky, working like a simple guy, you know, the superiors will never see your potential to be a waiter. But of course, if you want to excel, you want to grow, you need to give your 100%, exceed the expectations.
During the rush period, how is it to get the food and the drinks?
That is also a very complicated job.
I have seen it. That's why I want to know.
It's like doing a 3 omelette in the same time in one pan.
It's difficult.
There's a service sequence for that, like picking up the appetizer, soup, main course, dessert, coffee, cheese, like that, in types of sequence, of course.
Obviously, this is what everybody's at the same time is doing this, more or less, most of the whole time. So you there in the galley with like most of the other assistant waiters all fighting to get the stuff, and and you pushing this one, or is it, how does it go in there? Because everybody's sweating and you're in a rush. And
it's like a superior giving your gun, and you're gonna go in the battle pit on the spot. You need to fight for your life, to give your service, to take your food fast. You know,
my very first contract, I was an assistant waiter.
Really?
2001. That's 18 years ago. I was assistant waiter for 4 months, and then I was promoted to waiter for 2 months. Those 4 months were the hardest months of my life. But I was young. I had no choice.
For me.
One thing I will never forget, and I will tell to the rest of the world, that there's a word you need to remember. Fixed. Don't get fixed. That's how they say on ships. I would set my table, put my fork, my knife down, set my plates, everything, turn around to go do my other table, and I turn around, I've been fixed. Someone's stolen a fork from my table for his setup. Someone's taken my cup from for his, you know.
You need to keep an eye on your things, you know. Because in the ship, we have a limited supply of, items, so you need to take care of your items. Otherwise, there's some magic hands coming out.
Unbelievable, I tell you, man. Tell me a bit about your hours, because I know this is very intense. Could you tell me your hours and how you schedule your day?
I remember my last cruise ship, my last company, the duty hours is very bad. Supposed to be in our contract is only 11 hours, but they get more 12 hours. Like, for example, in the dinner time, we finish at 11 o'clock. It's exactly 11 hours duty. But the problem is you need to polish the cutleries, you need to polish the glasses. So what our maitre d' wants is we clock out at 11 o'clock for 11 hours exactly, and then you go back again to your job to finish it until maybe 12 o'clock, like that.
Untold stories. Welcome to Crew Life at Sea. This is where you find out the real stories. Living on board, out at sea can be very tough. How is your accommodation space and your benefits as an assistant waiter?
2 crew in one cabin, unlike others, 4 crew in one cabin.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no privacy, of course. Of course, everybody wants a privacy.
Do you have any conflicts with cabin mates? Have you
No.
changed cabins? You're okay with cabins? You get along
I've
with
experienced other nationality in my cabin mate as my cabin mate, but we go along. It's okay, and then maybe only 3 weeks he go and replaced with the Filipino.
Knowing what you know now from all the ship life that you've been through, if you could change one thing, what would it be and why?
To change my position and to become a bartender.
Bartender. So you're interested in bartending?
Yeah, of course, drinks, mixing, beverages, and also complicated like food.
So why haven't you tried to do an interdepartmental transfer? Do they allow you?
By the way, this is my first contract here in this company, and
okay.
they don't allow first timer to do the cross.
I understand. They wait for you to do your at least complete one contract.
Yes.
Okay. Do you find any difference working on a small? First of all, have you worked on a small ship and a big ship? Or
Yes,
just
of course.
Worked on both sizes.
Yes.
Okay. So, can you tell me the difference between working on a big one and a small one? Is there a difference for you?
There's a big difference. On your ship, the advantage is I seldom experience rough sea. Maybe only when there's a bad weather coming. About the work, it's okay because you have your own station in the restaurant and it's your responsibility. Leisure, you can go anywhere. The crew bar is big. There's a crew pool and a basketball court. And for the small ship, advantage is less crew. Meaning you all have your priority in the company. Meaning any complaints or suggestion, they can assist you easily.
Okay. I'm saying, imagine your toughest day at sea. You come to work, everything's going crazy, you just can't keep up. Tell me the toughest day and how you got through that day.
Of course, when there's a bad weather.
Really, you can't. The
And
weather
this is a
affects
small
you.
ship.
Yeah.
The sea is like playing with your small boat. And I've experienced at dinner time, a heavy rough sea, so I'm seasick. But I need to continue my job. And we're still on the appetizer and it's a long way to go.
So tell me, when you're having the rough seas and you have that big tray full of stuff on it, how do you get through?
Normally, if there's a rough sea, the maitre d' doesn't allow eight
Dishes.
dishes in one tray. Maybe normally 6 less like that.
So wait, on a normal day, how many do you have on a tray?
I can pick up 8.
Eight dishes. And then on a rough sea day, how many do they?
Only 6 less.
So 2 whole plates less.
Mhm.
Oh, come on. That's it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference.
Especially when the main course is like a lamb.
Only 8?
Yeah,
I remember on the big ships when I was there, they're carrying 16.
in the big ship, I'm carrying 16, yes.
Yeah.
But right now in this company, they don't like because of of course, the heavy weather,
And
no?
safety.
Shaking the sea.
It's understandable, because as I said, a lot of ships are different to each other, and a lot of them have different rules to other ships. The negatives and the positives of your job.
The negative is your shitty superior who always give you bullshit.
That's what I like to hear. Straight out and to the truth.
Of course.
Positives. Or you have more negatives.
I have more negatives.
sure you do.
It's like you feel that you're doing a great job, but in their eyes, you're worst.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, you're just a number to them sometimes at sea when it comes to them, because they got to get their job done.
Also, when you're far away from your family or your loved ones, you miss all the celebration and special occasion, of course. That's sad.
Yeah. I have a little girl. Kills me to be away.
Yeah, I've seen that in your poll.
Yeah, thank you.
For the positives, well, we have everyday learning, maintain our profession, free accommodation, of course, and food, and you gain money to support your loved ones.
On a positive note, what positive feedback would you give to offer others towards their journey if they try to seek a job on a cruise line?
Well, if you work in this kind of work, you can travel the world. For me, I just finished my world cruise on 2014.
Okay.
That's amazing,
Yes.
It's like not everybody can experience this once in a lifetime job.
There's something I do on all my shows. It's the big question. So, I ask everybody this question.
I'll do my best.
Tell me the most shocking thing you have ever seen or ever encountered in your career at sea.
On my second contract, we're doing the crossing from Madeira, Portugal to Bahamas.
Okay.
So that's 7 days at sea in Atlantic Ocean. On our third day at sea, nighttime approximately 1 a.m., there's a loud sound down in the engine. It's like a big canyon exploded. And the captain sounded the alarm for fire. And what happened is one engine has exploded and there's a major blackout of the ship. Then the stabilizer is gone, so the big ship is having a rough sea now. It's shaking. So we're all nervous. And after a while, the generator's light turned on and the stabilizer is not working as well. So it's like a major problem on the engine. And the captain announced the crew emergency station. So we pick up.
What time was this?
1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Yeah, and I go
See,
back.
always happens at the times that you don't expect.
I'm just lying in my bed that time and maybe playing in my phone.
Yeah.
And then I pick up my life jacket, of course, and then I wear it. I try to get all my personal belongings, like my wallet, of course. My wallet and my phone.
Everybody goes for their money.
Yes. And then after 2 hours, the captain announced everything is under control. And they regain the power of the ship. I go to the open deck. I see the ship moving like a little bit sideways or tilt moving. And then I go back to the bed and message my family about what happened in this ship.
And tell them that you're safe and sound.
Yeah, we're
What was the explosion, or what did you find out? What was the cause?
It's like the one engine exploded because of, I think, overheat.
Overheating. Okay, so that could have been the cause. Has working at sea changed your life?
Yes, of course. It's
And
a
in what
major
way?
change for me.
In what way?
First, I learned to become more independent.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in the Philippines, we grow as a family-oriented. Unlike other country, no, when they turn 18, they need to be independent by themselves.
Is that how it works in your country? When you turn 18, your mom and dad say, "Here, take your bags and get the hell out of here and go live your life."
But in the Philippines, you turn 18. Oh, son, come here. Don't go far. I'll miss you.
Yes. Well, Lorenzo, my friend, it was a pleasure, and it was really, really nice to have you on the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, and have a safe journey. Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Crew Life at Sea podcast. Want any of your questions answered? Send us an email at crewlifeatseainfogroup.com. Thank you for being a part of our adventure at sea.